So should I pretend like we never ended, or that there was just like you know how like when you're on summer vacation for a while, and you're just like, oh, school starts tomorrow, so you just like convince yourself in your head that you've just been on like a long 3-day weekend, so when you go back on Monday, you don't feel like you want to die.
Yeah, it's just like a TV series that took a hiatus and comes back the next season, being like, "Hey, remember that peanut butter sandwich you ate yesterday, SpongeBob?" And it just, you get the little thought bubble, and it like shows you the last line of the last show, and then it's like, oh yeah, and then here we are. It's today.
Welcome to the Podasaurus. This is just a little intro chorus. Welcome to the Podasaurus. We'll be talking about some games and more us. Welcome to the Podasaurus. Kyo and his friends won't bore us. Hopefully. Welcome to the Podasaurus. So listen up, it's time for Podasaurus.
All right, good evening. Welcome back, everyone, to Podasaurus. My name is Lou. I am your host today. Joining me, with me, or whatever, we have TimberTaft.
Hello, everyone.
And Ken from Ongaku to you.
Hello, I'm sorry.
Why are you sorry?
Because my podcast killed your podcast.
Like, do you mean it killed it as in yours is better than mine?
No, as in it was so bad, it canceled everything else around it.
Cancel culture was real that year, so I mean,
this was before cancel culture started.
that's true. We started it.
Well, yeah,
we were proto cancel culture.
Yes.
Thanks, Ongaku to you.
You're welcome.
So how have y'all been? It's been like, let me check my watch. It's been about 8 months since we did an episode. So this is now season 2 of Podasaurus, because that's how seasons work. It's whenever you decide to release a new one nowadays.
Yeah, roughly the next season, give or take a few.
So, since it's been so long, have there been any changes in our lives? Anything we want to bring up first before we get into the nitty-gritty of our topic, which people keep asking what the topic is. But knowing me, knowing what I do, what do you think it is? That's right, it's horror video games. And Pokemon.
Spooky.
I didn't realize you went back to Pokemon, but I guess that makes sense.
I did 1 or 2 days because I was severely depressed. So I'm like, I'm going to play Pokemon Heart Gold. That was a good day. Then the next day I'm like, I'm also depressed. I'm going to play Pokemon Heart Gold. And that day was not as good.
Then you were like, oh no, this did not cure my depression.
This did not work out like I planned.
I'm more or less doing the same things that I used to do. It's still generally things that I want to categorize as RPGs. Whether or not that officially is true is debatable. But, yeah, as usual, it's the rotation. So right now I'm doing Let's Go Eevee, the Tales of Vesperia, and Deus Ex. Boy. What about you, Ongaku?
Nothing too much. I bought another PS4.
Did you buy the Death Stranding one?
Yeah, of course. I finally got a 4K television, so I need to get a PS4 Pro. And
didn't you have one?
No, I didn't. I only had 3 regular PS4s.
Only 3 regular ones?
Yeah, only 3 regular ones.
Did you have 4 PlayStation 3s?
I have 3 PlayStation 3. No, technically I have 4 now. We just we just took in another one.
The prophecy is real.
I have 3 PlayStation 3s. I have 2 Slims and a Super Slim.
But besides that, I've been playing, obviously, Death Stranding, because I did buy the PS4 and the collectors. I also bought Jedi Fallen Order, the Star Wars game.
Have you played it yet?
I played the beginning of it just a little bit, but I was more...
How Dark Souls is it?
It's pretty Dark Souls from what I've seen.
I mean, the skill tree is pretty much fairly Dark Souls-y. There is a lot of...
And the combat. I saw somebody in an arena area where they were fighting some horned demon thing, and it was literally just this thing's trying to plow him off the edge. Is that's so Dark Souls. So take it with a grain of salt.
I can't wait to play more of that. And then Tetris 99.
Tetris 99 is a soul-consuming game.
Oh yeah, it took over my life for like a good 3 months.
I'll go like in spurts where I don't touch it, and then other spurts where I'm like playing it every day for a week straight. It doesn't help when they have the like skin things available for you to get a special one.
No,
I did
it
like I
doesn't.
just randomly, I randomly booted up one day when they had the Kirby one. I don't even care about Kirby. I don't like Kirby. Like it's fine, it's whatever, but it's like you can unlock this skin if you play it and get 100 points. I'm like okay, and then I'm like oh I probably won't do it. Then I realize you get a ton of points every time you win or every time you play, even if you don't win. So I unlocked that. And then they had a Luigi's Mansion one. They had a Pokemon one. I think I have one more. Maybe that's it. But then I started unlocking the ones you get with the tickets too. And I also bought the DLC for it, which I didn't plan to do.
I was never much of a Tetris fan, so I personally haven't touched it. But I get that
Tetris
feeling
99
with
is so good.
I do have to play it. I have it. I theoretically have it. I have the internet, so I have Tetris 99.
Just do an entire stream of Tetris 99.
But
Like I know of people who do that. Yeah. Gab did that for a while. She was just playing Tetris 99 for days.
For days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Let's Go, not Let's Go, just regular Pokemon Go kind of has that effect with me where they're like, hey, we released a new gen, and I'm like, oh, let me open up this app. Hold on, let me get the cobwebs off of this. And I'll be like, oh, look, there's a new Pokemon. And I'll catch it, and I'll look around and be like, yep, middle of nowhere, nothing here. And then I'll close it and forget about it again.
That has become a slight obsession for me because...
I've noticed.
Well, because I finally moved to a place where I can actually play it. So I guess I'll do my update real quick just to get out of the way. I've moved back from Japan to the middle of nowhere-ish Missouri. But more things spawn here than they do when they did when I was living in Japan. So like there's a park across the street with like 10 gyms and like 20 stops. So I just go walk around there for an hour and I get all my stuff back. But what was it last weekend? They had that Chimchar event.
Yeah, it was the community day event for the Chimchar.
So I usually go with like complain all the time that I don't get any shinies. I have a shiny of each one. I have 3 shiny Chimchars that I evolved to one of each in the line. And I got them from that event randomly. 2 of them I got while I was in the car.
Oh my goodness.
I was not driving. I clicked the I am a passenger and it was fine.
But were you a passenger?
I have not driven since I moved back from Japan.
Are you one of those Tesla drivers?
No, I have not driven since I moved back from Japan. I just said those words with my mouth hole.
That's amazing.
Did you not hear with your ear holes?
I heard with the ear holes. It's just, I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Yeah, I don't have a car or anything.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a car.
I guess
I just like
sense.
stream every day.
The streamer life, hashtag.
Hashtag full-time streamer. Hashtag give Tails some bits.
That's cool though. I mean, you're pursuing it. You're pursuing it on your own terms, maybe.
Yeah, more or less. Like I probably should get a job to supplement it. I'll probably start looking for it at the new year. See, I kept like saying like, oh, you know, the next month I'll start looking next month, and now I'm like at November, middle of November. I'm like, yeah, no one's gonna hire more than seasonal work right now, and I have no car, so I'm like, I'll just wait until the beginning of the year at this point.
Yeah, I mean that's generally a good practice because this is kind of end of financial quarter anyway, so most companies aren't going to be hiring anyway.
And if they're one of those like, you know, you can work now until, you know, Christmas or, you know, end of the year, and then that's it. So I don't want to be back to this, you know, beginning of January.
It depends on your incentives though. Like the one that I am currently working, I landed around this time out of sheer desperation and managed to get it pretty quick. So if you're looking at the right kind of jobs, they come up whenever. Anyway, we don't
necessarily... It doesn't help that I don't know what I want to do.
True.
I don't know what I want to do with my life.
I guess it's a contrast of like what you want versus what you feel you can tolerate, right?
Do you think they hire just like people who whine and complain about everything somewhere?
That's called being a critic.
Yeah, I was going to say that's being a critic, isn't it?
So theoretically, it could work for like IGN or Polygon.
Oh yeah. They love you, especially honestly because of your Japanese experience in Japan. There's a lot that you can kind of unpack there just from a like, hey, I'm an interesting person. Hire
Yeah,
me.
when I see them big fat anime titties, they're right there.
Well, I guess we're flagging the podcast as mature from now on, which it is if you have gotten this far and you are under the age of 18. Please do
Disclaimer.
not go any further. Just because we're talking about Pokemon does not make this for children, but although this is going on my Twitch channel, which is 18 plus, and this will also be on YouTube, which is also because of I don't know, Spanakopita or something like that. This is also 18 plus, which I'll mark everywhere possible.
Maybe we need to specify. This is 13 plus, guys. That's specifically what Kappa asked for, so.
It's 18 plus for me.
Well,
I don't know what... I know Kappa is just an emote. I don't know who this is. It's not enforceable. Speaking of which, did you guys know that once a day on Twitch, one person is randomly selected for their Kappas to turn golden?
really?
Yeah.
What?
Every day, one person is randomly selected for their Kappa emotes that they use to turn golden, and they are for 24 hours.
Oh, man.
I didn't know about that until today. I heard it in Soph's stream, and I'm just like, oh, I was not aware.
That's
So
super-
now I'm
that's
just going to start
super weird
spamming
that's
Kappas
totally
in everyone's
random.
streams. Yeah. So, and also you probably have to refresh your page all the time too. So you'd have to close your browser, refresh it just to see if you have become the golden Kappa boy.
I want to win that. I'll have golden Kappa. I should just... If that ever happens to me, I'm just going to change all of my emotes to gold. Temporarily, I'll just be like, guys, I got the golden Kappa. We're getting golden Rowers. We're getting golden Timber 2 Oz. Thank you, by the way, for the
This would require you to be in chats and talk, right?
I talk in chats.
Who's?
I don't wake up at 8 in the morning to talk in chats.
I've never seen you talk in chats.
I
Not even
absolutely
your
do.
own.
I absolutely do.
You even have your bot on a timer, so it talks for you. All your bot does is try and set up sound commands that aren't there.
I'm
enjoying
to fix
that.
it. I'm working on fixing it. Those are all templates right now.
I was in a stream the other day. I'm like, what is the bot doing? He's like, he reacts to some words and is trying to call a command, but I haven't set them up yet. Okay.
Well, no. So like that particular one, I was experimenting that stream because I had set it up with the commands, and it was supposed to fire off audio commands, but it didn't actually do it. So it just looked like it was shooting commands that didn't do anything. So
what do you use for Direhound? Do you use Streamlabs chatbot for that?
it's actually PhantomBot. And I use PhantomBot because it's open source, so I can actually go in and modify the code. The advantage of that is I can fix it. The disadvantage of it is that it's broken. So
Your bot's always broken. I think that's
always.
like the two most said comments on your stream are, today we're going after Carrot, and the bot is currently broken. I think if you go back and do that and like look through all of your things, you would come up with those two of the most used unique phrases.
Maybe I should set up my bot to calculate how many, like, what are my most common phrases, and hopefully it doesn't
set up
break.
to just make it an AI that learns from you.
Eventually, it'll just actually talk in chat the same way I would. You wouldn't be able to distinguish the two of us.
All right, we're like we're almost 20 minutes in. You guys want to talk about some video games?
Oh boy.
Video games.
Video games. Anyone been playing anything new?
Does Bloodstained count?
I will say, since we haven't had an episode since March,
Yes.
anything in the past 8 months is considered new. Because no one's heard us talk about it before.
Alright, so, I mean, clearly I have a lot to unpack, what with having an entire series on it, so, what's your opinion on Bloodstained?
Ken, have you played it all?
No, I haven't, unfortunately. I heard
Okay,
good
then I'll-
things about it, though.
Yeah, I mean, I played it. I got a code from it from the developer, actually, and I played it on stream one day. I enjoyed it. It was like Symphony of the Night. It was exactly what you expected it to be, more or less. I like that they decided to go like full weird with it as well, like where they even had things as one Patreon backer's dog's head as an enemy.
Yeah,
A bunch of weird stuff like that.
They had
Like,
a couple of them, actually.
so like they went full on weird. What is it? Igarashi? Is that his
Yep.
name?
Yes, shoot.
Yes.
Iga. Yeah, I mean, we'll say Iga. I don't remember his full.
Because I know it's like
name.
Igavania style.
Yeah.
But like they had him in there. He or like they let him basically do what he wanted. They went full weird. They did not shy away from being like this shameless. This is just Castlevania with a new skin. Like they went like the full on weird with it. They had fun with it. You could tell that they had a lot of fun making the game. And the fact they listen to fan feedback too, it looks a lot better. I still think it doesn't look that great, but it looks better.
Yeah,
It's just something with the art style or the engine they pick, something like that.
It's mostly the lighting. It's just the way that lighting casts onto the character models when compared to the environments, which I'm pretty sure it's just because, like, here's a sprite, and then here's this background that's, like, hand-painted or whatever. Now, have at it, lighting engine, right? And it doesn't really know how to process the backgrounds that well, but it's still fine. It's just that the character looks a little bit like they're not part of the environment necessarily ever.
So like I liked it for what it was. I only played one. I only did one stream of it. I even like highlighted it and like tagged it as part 1. I've never gone back to it, but I was playing on a computer that was breaking at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I did enjoy it. I've just never been a huge Castlevania fan. I like Metroidvania style games, but really I just like Metroid.
I've heard that a lot actually.
I like the art style. I like the franchise of Metroid. But not like, if someone's like, oh, this is a non-linear, Metroid style game, I'll probably not like it. I kind of like Guacamelee because it was different, but at the same time, it kind of felt soulless. I liked it for what it was, but it had no soul to it.
Yeah, I think I absolutely get that with a lot of things. I mean, even with Bloodstained to an extent, there's a lot of care and attention that was put into the minor details of things like the story, but they never... with Metroidvanias, maybe just because of the nature of their construct, that maybe if somebody goes into, they're like, I'm making a Metroidvania, so there's going to be backtracking, so that means there's going to be, like, entire chunks of levels that you're just, like, wandering through trying to find, like, a very specific thing. And when you have a person doing that, it's very hard to actually rope the story around that, because all of a sudden it's like, okay, this guy was all the way on the other end of the castle, and now we've made the player go over here so they can get the mystical armor mail of justice, and he's just there now too, right? And they just have to like somehow factor that into the plot.
Like they could almost do more interesting style or ways of presenting their story, but they kind of have fallen to that same rigid. This is how the other two franchises have always been. Metroid always kind of shied away from even having like exact or direct storytelling, so it kind of worked for it because you're just looking at the environments anyway. It's all environmental storytelling with a couple cutscenes, except for other M. But and then Castlevania did you were going to certain areas, but I don't feel like, especially Symphony of the Night, I don't remember exactly, but you didn't really backtrack that much compared to like a Metroid game in my mind. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm not as familiar with Metroid, so I can't say by comparison. What I do know with Bloodstained is that for the most part, there wasn't too much backtracking, except for 2 very exact sections where it was there almost as though it were mandated, right? Like, just like, okay, the game needs to have backtracking, so here you go. And it doesn't
give them a reason to come back here for no reason. We could avoid this, but it needs to be in there.
It needs to be. It's not a Metroidvania without this. So there are 2 moments. I'm trying really hard not to like spoil it in case people are still playing. But
no one's still playing Bloodstained.
They aren't. That is the curse of everything I ever cover. Instead of it dies before I have a chance to breathe its name.
I wish that was true, but Breath of the Wild did not die for even a while longer after you finished it. That was the game that wouldn't die on Twitch. A lot of people are like, we're starting Master Mode. Like, you don't have to do this. There are other games.
Okay.
There are other Zelda games. Like, we don't have to.
Yeah, but
True
I like
Sound,
this one.
True Sound played it again on Master Mode and got all of the Korok seeds first.
I saw.
And then did the rest of the game. And it was just like, you can tell now, like, after he finished it, he 100% of the game, he's just like, I am done with this game for a while.
It's just not the way it's meant to be played. It just isn't.
Like, you're really not supposed to get all of those Korok seeds. You're not supposed... Like, you get something for doing it, but you're really not supposed to. They never really intended people to do it. That's why you get, like...
a special thing for it. Yeah, like...
I don't think it's a spoiler. It's 3 years later, almost. You get a piece of shit for it. You get a giant turd from the Broccoli Man for getting 900 seeds. He's just like, good job. This is your reward. And it's not worth it.
If you want to know more about that, you can watch my video on why Koroks are evil. Links in the description. Do we have descriptions? I don't know.
There will be one.
Okay. Well, there you go.
You can plug whatever you want at the end. Not in the middle. Because we want them to get to the end. That way they'll listen to the whole thing, and then they'll go watch your stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, so...
Bloodstained.
Bloodstained had a similar thing where actually the achievements, the final achievements for the game were like acquire all the shards and then synthesize every item in the game. Very few people have that last one. I am also one of those people who did not get it because it just isn't.
Do you even like video games, Timber?
I love video games. I just don't.
Then why don't you have it?
I don't want to synthesize all of the items, man. I mean,
do
that's
it for
like
the Chivo.
If I get the Chivo, I will have 100% of the game. I actually did get all the shards, and that was like more grinding than I ever wanted to do. I don't know. Do people care about achievements in general? I don't think so.
Some people are really big into it. They still do achievement hunting. See, I burned out on that probably around like, I want to say 2012. Like, I had moved from Xbox to PS3 and was still like trophy hunting. And then eventually, just at some point, I think it was probably Assassin's Creed 3 that broke me. I was just like, I'm tired of trying to get all these achievements in games or all these trophies, and I just stopped.
Yeah. I think I've said it before that I have a 10% rule where I try to get as many achievements as 90% of players. And after that, I'm kind of like, okay, there's a reason that less than 10% of people have these other ones, so it's probably not fun, you know? And I just kind of tuck it under the rug. Christoph Gavin is one of my fellow streamers who's been he does like 100% achievement runs of things. And I respected the fact that literally every game he streamed, he has 100%ed.
Wow.
So if you guys are into that sort of thing, I don't know. Again, that's why I asked the question, because I'm like, do people like seeing achievements get got?
I like when I get one, but then I don't care enough to find out what I need to get more.
Yeah, same.
Because like I started Outer Worlds and like I got an achievement for like playing the game for 5 minutes, so I'm like, these mean nothing now, kind of in my mind.
In a way, it definitely is nothing. I think I use it more or less as a placeholder of how done am I with this game, right? If there's still like lingering achievements, and there's always the risk of like, if this is still here a year from now, I might play this game again. And that is sometimes a risk too great to take. So I'm just going to like try to polish off as much of it as I can in this session, so I never have that lingering feeling of like, I'm not really done with it though.
Some of them are good because they're like, at least for games like Fallout or something like that, all of your achievements are pretty much linked to you're leveling up to max level, so you'll know whether or not if you're close to max level or not. And some collectibles in special areas, and then like just the quests. Like, have you completed every quest? Because you have an achievement left, you're like, oh, maybe there's a quest I missed. And if you're really invested in the game, you could go find that quest. Because the achievement kind of tipped you off to that. But then some are like, find all the holotapes, and it's just...
Yeah, the more it turns into like, did you get all of the feathers in level 13? The more I'm like, those can stay there. Someone else can get those.
I'll start out a game like saying like I'm gonna get everything in it, and by the end of like the first world, if there's a bunch like that and I miss one, I'm like, I'm done. I'm done trying to get all of them. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, there are moments that break me. I know there was I think there was that game a while ago where was it Dark? It wasn't Dark Cell, but no, Prototype. Prototype had an achievement in it where you had to go around and get these like orbs. And there were like 700 of them scattered throughout the entire town. And they were generally pretty obvious, so I just went around, collected them all, and by the end of the game, I had 699 orbs. And it's a big open world game. So, honestly, this could probably apply to like Breath of the Wild as well. The last one is the hardest to get. Mm-hmm. And if you weren't like literally checking things off on like a map that you got from some guide somewhere, and you just found them at random, then the frustration is like beyond belief. When you get to the last one, you're just like, no, I thought I did everything systematically, and yet here we are.
That happened to True Sound. He was missing 3 Korok seeds, and he was using a map, and he had marked them, and he thought he might have misclicked several of them. It was going back to certain areas, trying to figure out if he got them or not. So he probably had to look for 900 of them twice.
No. Oh, I feel for you, True Sound.
That poor dude. Well, aside from Breath of the Wild and Bloodstained, anything else played wise recently, or within the past 8 months? During our short break there. Ken.
Yes, I played the buggy game that is WWE 2K20.
I heard that was a mess.
Oh my god, yeah, it was pretty bad.
So first, what prompted you to purchase such a thing?
So I like these kind of games. I do these sports games every so often. I just pick a sport, and depending on the year, and like, I'm going to play Madden, or I'm going to play WWE, or I'm going to play NBA Live, or 2K20, or whatever it is. 2K has not been it hasn't been a really good year for 2K for that darn matter, for sure. WWE is not good. NBA 2K20 is not good either. And
didn't NBA Live get shelved again?
Yeah, well, that was last year's one because it didn't do so hot.
What was it? I can't remember exactly which one it was, but there's a basketball game. I think it was like NBA Elite. I think it was on 360 and PS3, and it was probably like a decade ago. But it was finished, printed, sent out to stores, and canceled the day it was coming out. And the stores had copies of it. Did you ever get that game?
Oh, no. I wish I could have, though.
But you know what I'm talking about. There's copies of this game that was canceled on release day, just out there. And then the rest were sent back to, I think, EA to be destroyed.
Probably in those kind of situations, they would want to have all the return copies. There's certain, being behind the desk of a GameStop, certain places or certain stores, depending on who is the district or the DM during that time, probably tries to make sure to keep track of all the release inventory that they got, and then make sure that it gets returned properly. But there are some people that don't follow those rules, and they keep that just for it's the unreleased game kind of thing.
Because if Amazon shipped it out early, they were just out.
Yeah. So, besides that,
get early things from them.
Yeah, besides that, I've been also playing the hot mess that was Mario Kart Tour.
Oh god, I didn't even touch that. Nintendo's mobile offerings have not been that good.
No, they have not. So, it's a majority of the gaming that I bought a bunch of games, but I just never had time to go sit down and play them. The majority of my time has been of Final Fantasy XIV because Shadowbringers came out, so that took out a good chunk of my July. So I love it. It's a really good game. It's probably one of their best written stories in a while, to the point that WoW is biting them off now. So I'm really happy for the Final Fantasy XIV community. So,
is the Nier Automata raid in yet? Or
yes, it just got it in this past 5.1 patch. It just was integrated. So,
and isn't it considered canon to the Nier lore or something as well?
Yeah, we the entire community was having inside jokes between it because you complete the Nier raid, it uninstalls your game or something like that. Or you beat the Nier raid, it deletes your character or sends you back to 1.0, which is god awful. So, but
that would require them to still have a copy of 1.0 around. There's probably one copy, the master copy at Square Enix. It's just in a vault somewhere.
Just do not
no
open.
One's allowed to go in there.
So
they're just waiting for the day that someone's like, well, WoW Classic did really good. What if we release Final Fantasy XIV Vanilla?
No. So, besides that, I also been playing Review Starlight Relive because the English version came out, and that majority of my money went into there. I did just pick up another game earlier today, and it was Shenmue 3. So I can't wait to go and...
I'm so sorry.
Oh, how come?
It's just I'm just hearing so many. I think the problem is it's exactly what everyone thought it was going to be, and everyone's disappointed by that. Like, apparently, it just looks like they took the Dreamcast version, like the character models, the animations, and mechanics, and just made them look nicer.
Ah, that sounds amazing.
Did it keep the famous line?
Do you know any Chinese people?
Have you seen any sailors around here?
No, I think if you go to the bar, they have a lot of sailors.
I was talking to my moderator. Maybe it was I was reading in Discord, and that's what he said. He's like, it just looks like they took the Dreamcast games and just gave them a fresh coat of paint. Like they went for kind of realistic proportions for characters, but not faces.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at like what might be the box art for that, and even that, it just looks like they were like, let's take the hair, make it less spiky because this isn't the '90s anymore. Give it more of a swept back look, right? You know, she's wearing like a fancy millennial hat now instead of like, I don't even know what she was wearing before.
So, isn't this not the end of it too?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure they'll probably back in some other thing into it to make it number 4. Well, for me, like I wasn't really a fan, and I played 1 and 2. The only first time I played 1 and 2 was when I bought it and streamed that horrible, lovely blind run of a game for the first time. And
I feel sorry for every Yakuza fan. It's just like, you know what? I really like the Yakuza games, and I kind of want to see where they got their start.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of chump would do that, Ken?
Well, I don't know, man.
Like, as long as you go into those with zero expectations,
Yeah.
and you're just like, I want some nostalgia bait.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting a perfect sample of 90s video game storytelling. It's a perfect example of 90s video games. Even though it came out, like, I know, like, early 2000s, whatever.
Yes.
But you're getting exactly what that is.
Live
And
your
if you go
mundane
in
life in rural Japan.
I mean, I like it for what it is, because you go around, you collect capsule toys, your dad's dead, but who cares? You're not going to get to it, because you need to get a capsule toy version of the character Knights, who no one remembers.
Yeah.
People who say they remember it, you can tell they're old at that point. I know who the character is, but I didn't grow up with the Sega Saturn. I know about it from afterwards.
Would you say that if you took Yakuza and set it in rural Japan, that would make it Shenmue? Or is there more?
Isn't that like half of?
that?
Isn't like that half of like Yakuza 3?
Is
Yeah.
it? Okay.
And like
the
beginning of 6 when he's in Okinawa.
Yeah, like they're on like small island villages for a little bit, just like in the beginning of a couple of the games.
Okay. Well, I guess it's been done.
Oh man, who's that? Who's was that?
Same. I think
Is that honking at your place, chum?
No, I think that was Ken.
Yeah, that was me. But
So it's nighttime for me and Timber, and it's like afternoon for Ken. So you'll probably hear some weird sounds and hail, and maybe a chainsaw. Don't be alarmed.
yeah, don't be alarmed. We're going through a thunderstorm right now, and the possibility of hail in the lovely state of Hawaii.
They will be hailing chainsaws in Hawaii tonight.
Yes, another
Sounds like
another
that's my indie band's name.
raining
My emo
chainsaws.
indie band's hailing chainsaws in Hawaii. It's like Ohio's for lovers, but more depressing.
Oh, great! I need to get on that copyright then. But speaking of Pokemon, I have been playing Pokemon Masters, and that is the worst gacha game I've ever played in my life.
That is the most soulless, devoid of gameplay. Like, there's no gameplay loop.
Yeah.
It's one of the most soulless, devoid of gameplay, scummy gacha games I've ever played.
Oh yeah, no, like
They don't give you any currency.
yeah, they
Like,
don't.
So I know I'm spoiled. Like I'm sorry, I'm going to take over for a skosh. I know I'm spoiled by playing Dragalia Lost, which is Nintendo's best gacha game. I even say it's probably one of the better or best gacha games out there because of how like kind they are to their players. They give out so much free stuff. They had their year anniversary. For like 7 days of it, you got free tenfold summons every day, and they gave you enough currency to have another 10. Like, there was so much free stuff. And they give you free characters and stuff all the time. Like, they gave out free 5-star adventures and dragons during that time, which are the two main things you need for the game. And then Mario Kart Tour wants you to pay $5 a month to unlock 200cc tracks.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, go ahead with Pokemon Masters.
Yeah,
and
no,
I'll join in to complain about it.
No, it's pretty bad. I'm not gonna argue with you there. I'm coming off the heels of playing Review Starlight Relive, which is, Bushiroad is pretty scummy in their gacha games too, but at least they give you so many different options to get those free rolls. For Pokemon Masters, I had to play 1 full week of just hardcore playing just to be able to do 110 roll. 110 roll! And if they have weekly events where, okay, you can only get 5-star Gary with the Pidgeot, and this is the only way you could get him from this week to this week. And it was the last day to down to 3 hours or something like that I finally got him. But it took me forever to grind for that.
I got lucky. It was one of the days that they were down for maintenance and they gave everyone enough for a 10 summon thing or whatever. And I got blue with the Pidgeot. But their thing is you don't get enough for it. They have this thing when you summon things. And after so many, you're building up points. I guess if you do a 10 summon, you get 10 points out of 100 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And when you fill that out, I think you get 1 free choose a 5-star, which is in theory, this is cool. If you are building up points for something and you could get a chance to get a 5-star you want that you haven't gotten yet. That's cool. That's a cool idea for a gacha game. Problem is everything runs for a week. You don't get any currency. So you were having to buy this currency to do it, which I also can't buy the currency because my Nintendo account's locked to Japan, and I'm not about to get a bunch of yen to buy stuff for Pokemon Masters. And every single thing, starting with my first 10 character roll, I got 3 duplicates in that.
Oh yeah, no, I have 4 crushers.
And when you get a duplicate, in Dragalia Lost, when you get a duplicate, you get Elder Water, which you can use to upgrade your adventure. So if you get a duplicate adventure, you get Elder Water. It depends on their rank, 3, 4, 5 stars, you get more, which is a very useful thing. So while it sucks to not get a character, when you're already getting a bunch of characters, you get those free summons. You actually just honestly hope you don't get dragons, really. Well, I don't. You get stuff to build up the characters you have. In Pokemon Masters, you get to level up their Sync move, which is basically their special Z move base thing, whatever. And I have so many shit characters I'm never going to use that are at 4 out of 5 Sync. And I don't know if after you get 5, if they stop giving you dupes. And there's no way, I don't know, because I've never looked into it. And every character I want, I never will get. I wanted, what is it? I think Lyra has a Chikorita. I'm never getting that.
Yeah, I tapped out at Lyra. That was the second or third event, I believe. And I got Chikorita, I got it all the way to Meganium, and I was like, okay, I'm good. I have all the grass Pokemon trainers, because I love grass Pokemon. I have all the grass Pokemon gym leaders / trainers that I don't care. I got Brandon also.
Does this mean you're in Grookey Gang?
I guess. Oh yeah, the monkey. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get it for the monkey too.
Oh, you haven't picked your starter yet?
Yeah, but I'm probably gonna get the monkey because grass Pokemon.
I think it has the best looking final evolution. Its second evolution looks like they took Grookey and stretched him out really long.
So it just looks like a chimpanzee or something.
No, it just picture Grookey but with a longer body, like a teenage version of Grookey.
Does he have his hair in the front covering his eyes and going through that phase of him and the teenage adolescence?
No, that's Sobble. That's Sobble's evolution.
Well,
I don't know how not spoiler do you want to be in this, but It's
You can spoil
I
the
don't-
starters. I mean, that's the very beginning of the game.
that's one of those things. Like for me, I don't think that Pokemon. I don't want to see like special versions of Pokemon necessarily. Like if like the final form of like I don't know, like say like in Sun and Moon, if someone told me Necrozma fused with a character like ahead of time or something, I might not want to know. But like for starters, I want to know what they turn into. I don't know what I'm getting into. For the most part, I don't go into Pokemon games spoiler free because it's impossible. I think the only one I did was maybe. I think I didn't know what was going to happen in Ruby and Sapphire because I just picked it up on a whim.
A whim.
Well,
A whim.
the thing is, like, I don't let reviews all too much enforce my opinion, and if I'm going to buy a game, I usually pick a certain date or a trailer, and then I just decide to go dark. That's what happened with Death Stranding. I didn't even watch the release date trailer. I did not know nothing going into that game from E3. That was the last time I covered everything.
Honestly, with that game too, even like keeping up on it, it really didn't tell you what you're getting into.
Oh yeah.
Because like even like me like seeing about stuff and people telling me and then watching some things, I'm like, if someone told me this was what it was going to be, I would have told them I don't believe you. Because like it's kind of a walking sim. It's the delivery boy simulator.
Yeah.
Like there is some combat, I think, but it's very light on the combat. It focuses more on stealth than anything when you have like the combat encounters, as far as I know.
Yeah, no, it's more of a look about you kind of game and trying to see the wonder of this ravaged land than more of a combat simulation game. I mean, there are guns and things like that. Like, the point where I'm at is I just got a gun. I'm using air quotes here, gun, to disable the other humans that are going ravage across the lands. And it's interesting. Like, you can't kill anyone in this game too. I got a truck, I believe. I tried to run over these people. I wanted to test that theory if you can kill them or not.
But you really die.
Yeah, you just drag their bodies underneath a car, and they're still unconscious. So,
I've had many people say that they don't even want to like try playing the game because they're just like, it's just Hideo Kojima being way too artsy, and I don't want to like support that.
It's full force Kojima. Like, the story is it's all right. I mean, I understand that he wants to make it so different from Metal Gear, but oh my god, that's another whole bag of worms that I'm not going to go into right now. But it is very artsy. His music choices are very artsy fartsy hipster style music. Honestly, I would say it's.
Who's it? Churches is in it or something?
Yeah,
something
like that.
I heard that song. I'm just like, oh my god, why? I don't understand why people like that band.
So I'm just like, okay. I mean, I can understand. Like, if I was choosing hipster style Japanese music, which I do for the site and stuff like that, yeah, I think people would be like, oh, why do you listen to this kind of music? Oh, this music isn't really good. But then again, Gray kind of just goes for full force with all the hokey idol stuff, and I'm not. God.
So like what Timber just said though, he's like, everyone's saying it's just Kojima being too artsy. I agree with that until you said, but I don't want to support it. I personally just not interested in it. It's one of those things where it's too artsy for me. And I'm someone who like came into games, like I came into my like, I guess my adult phase of video games playing things like Killer 7.
That was great.
Does anyone play Killer 7 for the gameplay?
Nah, it's more for the design for it.
It's the art style, the music that meshes with it, and the story. Like I like the gameplay, but like
in a nutshell for any of their games.
Yep. But like if you're trying to convince someone, you're like, well, how does it play? I'm like, you press the A button and you walk, and it auto walks, and you press a direction to go there, and you go into first person to shoot things that continuously respawn. That does not make it sound interesting. But that's the gameplay, the moment to moment. But like, if you look at it as an adventure game with combat, it's far more interesting that way. I wish Suda still made good stuff.
What's the last thing they made, even? Was it?
So Suda's last game that I can say that came out, he remade Silver Case and then made a sequel to Silver Case, but that's not really high profile for him.
Yeah, I think in one of our previous podcasts, we were super excited about like a new No More Heroes that was coming out, and then I didn't hear anything else about it.
It was
So,
that
yeah, I
indie
remember-
game one, like the mini game
like-
one, if I remember correctly.
I know everyone gives me shit because I say I don't like anything, but like I like a lot of stuff. But that game that came out, the Travis Strikes Again or whatever,
Oh no!
I did not like that because it went from being No More Heroes is not a perfect game. It's not by any stretch of the imagination even always a fun game, and I think that's fine. I like it for the art style, the music. I like it for the story, which is batshit insane, Suda stuff. And then I had weird gameplay things where like one of your side missions was mowing the lawn. And you could do tricks while mowing the lawn. When I say tricks, I mean very simple tricks. Like you could do poses while mowing the lawn. It's very Suda. Travis Strikes Again is a top-down, simple, like 2-button hack and slash game that still even has the the shaking the I almost said lightsaber, shaking the beam katana to like recharge it and stuff. But the thing is, the game's not fun at all. And that was in his lead-in with that was people had to buy that one for him to make No More Heroes 3, which was announced anyway the next year or like 6 months later. That looks fun.
Well, I hope that I hope it ends up being better than Travis Strikes, and that's not the truth, right? Because it's kind of like, I don't know. Even if you make something that's technically a cash-in, you'd think that there'd be some effort put into at least making it a fun experience, even if it's like not fulfilling with the advancement of the plot or anything like that. Like, it's worrying if it doesn't even have those core tenets of just being a fun game made by the same developer. But
What are we talking about?
this is all stemming off of
Hideo
51
Kojima.
and Death Stranding. Kojima. We came here from Kojima.
I've been far more ranty and like off topic lately in general, so I'm gonna need someone to reel me in when it happens.
Why
No, it's
would we
fine
reel you
because
in?
we get to talk about things unhinged,
Yeah.
and I don't mind that, honestly.
Yeah, I've never been so when we did these podcasts initially, it was always about like, okay, let's grab the news so that we can talk about something that's relevant. But I'm never the relevant person like when it comes to games.
Streaming Clive Barker's Undying is not relevant.
It was so relevant, okay? It was like
And then
the
Dave was
middle
like,
of
"What the
summer.
fuck is this?"
It was the middle of summer.
It wasn't even Spoopy Month.
And I didn't even finish. I got to the cathedral and I couldn't like find the demon, so I quit.
Didn't it get soft locked or something because it's an old game that doesn't run well on new PCs?
I wouldn't be surprised. I did try to go back and play like a new file because I was trying to like pull some footage of it's jammed, but the game literally froze while I was trying to record this. I was okay. I'm pushing my luck here. We're going too far back with the time machine of GOG. So
See, that's a sign when the game doesn't even want to work properly or be recorded. You're just like, this is a sign that this does not need to be relevant anymore.
I'm putting this to bed. The minute that I need to use a virtual, when I'm like, okay, guys, this is going to be great. We're going to stream this. I have this Windows 98 virtual machine. Okay. And I'm going to install it on here and it's going to run really fast because, the CPU is frame locked, but we can play it. I promise you, we'll stream it. It'll be great. That's where I was with Chaos Island, the Jurassic Park RTS that I really wanted to stream. And I'm at the point where it works, just it runs like it's designed for a robot to play.
I forgot that I had action figures behind me and I started messing with them and I almost knocked them all over.
Oh. I'm glad to see I have your full undivided attention, Kyo.
I have attention problems, okay? So you don't know what this is. Ken knows. So I have a Figuarts of Kamen Rider D End Final Form. And I also have a what is this? A die-cast Gunblade from Final Fantasy VIII.
All
And
right.
I decided to put it in DN's hands. Well, it's really heavy, and I think it has ruined the joints. So I was messing with it, trying to get it to stay up, because it was already not that great in shape, because it's a used figure, which
Did it make it worse?
surprisingly, yes.
Oh, no.
And surprisingly, for it being a used figure from Japan, it is not covered in someone's bodily fluids, as far as I can tell, because the figure is black, and that would show up. Now, will I get black lights for my backdrop to look at my figures? No. Do I want to? Kind of. But I also don't want to know. I don't have anime girl figures, so that should be...
So
I
you're
should be safe.
relatively safe. I don't know. I think that's like 50-50 there, at least.
Probably. So I don't want to know.
Yeah, I mean, there's Rule 34 of Bastion from Overwatch, so this is a dangerous world.
He's like Data. He's fully functional in all ways.
Oh, no.
I started rewatching that recently. Last week, and I don't know why, I walked out into the living room after waking up, still in my pajamas, and just grabbed cereal and turned on Next Generation
It's
at
so
11
good.
a.m.
No, this
I
is...
don't know why I did
This
it,
is
though.
absolutely fine. I've been slowly watching every episode of that for the last year, just going through it on random nights when I'm like, okay, I'm tired and I want to zone out to something philosophical that'll make me feel like I learned something. Let's watch TNG.
I signed into my Netflix account. I was in season 6, and I just went back to season 1 and started over. Did you remember they had a different security officer in season 1?
Yes, when they...
And then they just...
She was
And
so
then they
nice.
just iced her.
I loved her. I mean, it's a shame she got spoilers, but it's
Spoilers for Star Trek The Next Generation. Oh, I will preface this that around an hour in, we have spoilers for Star Trek The Next Generation.
It was Tanya
a
Zar,
show that's
Toria Zar, something like that.
Tanya... Wait, okay,
I just remember being
Yar, Tanya Yar.
Tanya Yar. She was the epitome of the 90s girl, right? She was great.
She gets it on with Data 3 episodes in.
I know, and Data's he's definitely the ladies' man of the group, so
he's fully functional in all ways. And she just jumps his circuits.
Oh no, I think they literally said that line somewhere in there.
Probably.
I'm
that
sure
was a weird episode.
It's a Rikerism. You would have been like, wow, she really jumped his circuits, wouldn't you say, Captain? It's shut up, Riker.
And then, season 2, Beverly leaves for a while, and they replace her with, some lady, and then I think they kill her off, too, or something, and then Beverly comes back.
Right.
It's not a good time to be a character who did not get in well with the producers or whatever when it came for script or for contract re-signing. Because they're except for Will Wheaton, they just, killed off everyone.
Well, that was they had a strike at some point in there too, a full-on
I think so.
writer's strike. So it was okay.
I'm trying to think what else happened in that. Oh, and then Riker, season 1 kind of sucks too because Riker doesn't have a beard yet.
I know. I know what it's like to not have a beard and then to have one. And Riker must have felt real naked in that first season.
When was the last time you didn't have a beard?
It's been so long, I don't know what my face would look like if I shaved it off right now.
I think I've had facial hair consistently since I was 17, and now I'm 30.
Yeah, I think the last time I didn't have this, I was a sophomore in college, and even when I was a sophomore, I had a goatee.
Ew.
I know. I eventually
Send me a picture of this.
No. It's terrible. No.
I'll just go find you on Facebook.
Okay, do it. We both.
I know your name.
I know your name too. We're there. It's happening.
Now, let me just tell everyone your name, your address, and your date of birth. Would you mind telling them your mother's maiden name and also your social security number?
Sure.
Who's the man behind the TimberTaft name?
The man behind the TimberTaft name.
You're more than just the it doesn't matter to Gramps guy.
Oh my god. That's almost
okay,
that was almost laugh trackable. We need to take that clip and have that on our soundboard.
I'll just take that laugh and combine it with Titus's from Final Fantasy X and just have it played over each other.
Oh no.
You have the best host message to everyone gang up and like weaponized host alerts for
Yes.
in a row. Just
Yes.
host train weaponized.
There's a piece of me that has wanted to turn that into a bit alert instead, since people seem to really want to use it a lot. But I don't know. I feel like that would kill
because
it.
people don't use it. After you put things on bit alerts, they never touch them again.
Have you done that? Is this from experience?
Yes.
Oh no. What was
Like,
it?
like,
What was the offender?
well, like Soundbot doesn't work anymore for me. Like it only works with 4 sounds I already have there. So the other ones I put in bits, and like people are like, "Where's the thing from the overlay?" I'm like, I had to make it a bit alert so it could still be around. There's like, oh. I'm like, oh, so it was
It's
funny
dead
when
to
it was
me.
free. It was funny when it was free. Okay, I see.
Yeah, I had a friend, you guys might have seen him because I rate him every so often. His name's Homic Smash. And he had a similar thing happen where he used to do these things called vocal butchers, where people would suggest to him like a voice that he would just do, and then he had to just inhabit being that character for like a few minutes because he's really into like voice acting. So he'd have like a Toad voice, right? And then he'd just do Toad. And he used to do this just using his points, right? Like the point systems, like the Kyobucks or whatever you have, and the timber sticks that exist but don't do anything.
You have timber sticks?
I have timber sticks, but they don't I don't have any use for them. They're just something people have. It's an economy with no actual, like liquidatable assets. But
So I'm sorry to tell you though, I have dropped Dino Dollars from my channel.
really, there's no more
They
Dino
have been
Dollars.
No, they've been replaced by channel points that Twitch has graciously given me access to the beta for, and they're now called fossils.
That's
and you can use them to do things like have me wear a hat for a skosh. Or, good luck, try and get me to play Resident Evil 2 Remake again, but it's going to cost 999,999 channel points, which someone concluded would take them 2 years to get that,
Okay.
with
Maybe
no
I'm-
way to rack up more,
Maybe I'm close.
except for being in chat.
Maybe I'm close. But yeah, he was doing this with his points for a while, and then eventually it was like, well, this is really popular. People love doing this to me, so he moved it to bits, and then it was immediately just like, it just died with that transition.
Yep.
It's kind of a shame because you'd think especially if you put it at like a low value, just like a smidge of bits,
Like a 5 or something.
yeah, like you'd think people would be willing to at least watch an ad for it, but that's the way it
Yeah,
works.
like I put mine on there not with the intent of thinking people would do it all the time. It was more just like, well, I don't want to get rid of this thing, so I'll just put it somewhere because someone's bound to want to do it. But that way, it's just like it's there.
It still gets to exist, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like one of those like me rubbing my hands like, please give me bits so you can hear the funny sound that I made. It's just more of like it's like it's either gone or it's here. It's that.
All according to plan, and then you just see.
And
the
I'm not
bits
gonna put
flying.
everything in. I'm not gonna put everything into 1 or 2 bits. Like some places have like those. I've seen some channels that had like 1 through 100 were individual sounds on their own. I'm like, that is too many. Like I can't even come up with that amount of ideas, and that will just be weaponized against me.
I know.
Like when I had any amount bit TTS.
I respected Okami's sound alerts. She had some really choice alerts for a long time. The only problem is that she like cycles them through. So I would go into the channel and use one that I knew for a while, and then it's like, sadly, that's no longer here. I'm like, no, it died.
Oh, I wonder if DeSoulsmo's still in there.
I hope so. I think so. I don't know. I would just keep a million of them. I would just have them like backlog. It would be there for so long that people would be like, "What does this even mean?" And I'd be like, "The true fans will know."
So, you guys play anything else recently?
I've been playing Tales of Vesperia.
So how are you doing with that 10-year-old game that you're getting the remaster of a year late? Oh, no, you were 6 months late on that one, am I?
Hey, I get
Right?
to enjoy something. I was quite late. I definitely did not hop on this very timely at all, which I constantly am like in a mental battle of like, I want to see the end of Tales of Vesperia, but also nobody's interested in watching Tales of Vesperia. But
That's the thing. Everyone will sing the praises of that game, but it's something about the Tales game that I don't know if they're fun to watch.
the Tales series in general just has this problem. I don't know if maybe it's because it's just because the story isn't as compelling, and it's just not as in your face as the Final Fantasy games are. Why it's
clicking.
good.
Stop clicking.
Sorry. I broke my Steam library and I was trying to fix it.
Why do you have the clickiest computer stuff? You have the clickiest mouse, the clickiest keys.
If it's not clicky, how do I know it's happening? Okay, this is how you know you're alive.
Are you going to finish it off stream then?
Maybe. I think I might put it up to vote and see how people feel about it. Because
How far did you get into it?
I just made it past, let's see, I got to the island, I killed, like, some weird, not island, but, like, the place across the ocean. There was, like, a monster I had to kill to get its horns, and then there was a castle, and I went in, and then the pirate girl, I met her. Oh, what was the exact last thing that I did? Holy crap, I don't remember. Oh, we got thrown out of a hotel. That happened. We're like fugitives or something. Whoa, I'm so far behind in my own mental space of where I was in this game. We, like, made it back to the kingdom, the princess is rescued, and then the MacGuffin exploded, and people were upset about that.
Have you learned the identity of the Dragon Rider yet?
No, I'm not that far.
Okay.
All
right, so I still cannot talk to you about anything because I don't know anything about Patty or what they added in the new game, but I know everything from the original release.
Patty's fun. I really like Patty as a character, even though she's super strange.
It's so weird because her partial data for her is in the original 360 release, but she's not in there. So, like, when that came out, everyone realized, after they, like, data mined it, that they were, like, holding out on content, because that was back when, if you wanted to port a 360 game to PS3, or, you know, anything else to PS3, you had exclusive content.
Right.
So basically what Namco did was they took the Microsoft money, they released an unfinished version of the game on 360, and then released the real version on PS3, and the Japanese fan base was mad.
I mean,
They were really mad.
It's so wild to me because she's so, like, if you look at the cover, she is so prominent on there too. Like, clearly it was designed for her to be, like, kind of important.
Well, you know the original box art looks different, right?
But then they feature it so intensely now that it's there. It's like, hey, look, this thing.
Namco did that with a bunch of games. They had Eternal Sonata. There was a few other games that, like, had this happen where things were just added to the PS3 version that after you saw them, they were glaringly missing from the original. Like, it was so much extra content. You're like, how did you do this in 6 months to a year? So you're like, oh, you just left them out.
But long story short, I do want to keep playing the game. It is up to the audience if they want to keep seeing it. Otherwise, I can, like, fill that slot with any number of more recent things that I'm falling dreadfully behind on. But
you know what's a fun... Are you going to play Link's Awakening at all?
I don't know. There's a piece of me that just wants to play the original because I don't see enough justification for the HD remake to actually pick that up.
Ken, did you play that at all?
No. Unfortunately not.
You're not a super big Zelda person, though, are you?
You know, that's my gaming... one of my gaming sins that I don't finish Zelda games. So, like...
I mean, it's alright. Only a few of them are actually good.
Only the
So,
CDI ones, really.
Oh,
Yep,
man.
really just those. If there's no voice acting in the games, they're pretty much crap.
Well, excuse me, princess.
Like, I have played the original one up until near the end. Have you played it at all before, Timber?
Which one? Sorry.
The original game at all?
I played
The
I played the opening of Link's Awakening. I never actually played through it myself because it started on handheld, and I was dreadfully opposed to handheld games, especially during that era.
Because for me, I had played the original on 3DS when it came out, because I've had this Game Boy copy I'm holding in my hands. Can you hear it?
Yeah, I hear
rattling that thing.
Click clack.
So this thing for the past 12 to 15 years has not worked. And it just took me using a Game Shark to erase the game file that was on it for it to work again recently.
Oh, that makes
But I have played...
That makes sense, actually, because usually the first thing to go on those old Game Boys is the save RAM in the carts.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a high probability if you play that and then try to save, it won't actually save.
I think it did save, though. That's the thing. Where's my Game Boy? Where's my... Wait, here's one. Hold on, we're doing it live.
Oh, man. He's just gonna open it up and there's no save data, and he's gonna be very sad if he played it for a long time. That sounds healthy.
Hey, there's save file there.
Oh, yay. Well,
There was something where the save file can be corrupted on the RAM and just not work anymore, but the game itself is fine. So I cleared it with a Game Shark that I found, and now it works.
all you had to
and so
do
I
was
booted
cheat
this
to
up.
get there.
Basically, I had that to get Pokemon when I was a kid. I don't even know where the Game Shark came from because I didn't buy it as a kid.
You can't get
Someone-
you can't get the achievements anymore. You just
And what?
locked yourself out of getting those Link's Awakening achievements.
Oh yeah, that was a thing, wasn't it?
And it wasn't a thing. It's just
But I had played that. I had like booted up recently because I got it right before I got my Switch version, which I got the Dreamers edition because I like Zelda games. People who think I don't like Zelda, I like Zelda a lot. Every time there's a collector's edition, I get it. I'm very disappointed in the remake because I like the art style. I like the fact that it's a new version of it, but it's basically the performance is awful. It has frame rate drops out the ass, which someone tried to convince me was the camera's fault. It's not. It's the frame rate of the game. It's been proven. There's memory leak issues with it, so it can't even be patched. So the frame rate's bad. The characters walk as slow as they did in the Game Boy versions.
mm,
And every time you transition areas, the frame rate drops significantly. So there's that. It just doesn't feel like anything's different enough. Like, there's some quality of life improvements, but there's not enough to just, like, with it existing, I don't understand why it needs to.
it's like if they made Wind Waker HD but didn't give you the super sale, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it's basically like, you know how, like, Twilight Princess HD doesn't really need to exist either. It plays on Wii U. I know it has the motion controls, but, like, the controllers are compatible with it. Like, they could even just drop, like, the GameCube ROM on Wii U as a download.
Look, did they give me a skip the tutorial button? Because that's the only thing that would improve Twilight Princess for me.
Nope. You still have to sit through that tutorial. I think
5
it's a little
hours.
bit better in HD. Because I think you can skip through the dialogue faster, but it's still... I don't like Twilight Princess that much. The more I think about it, the more I don't like it.
There are...
Which I think when we had Sky Mom on, we went through all of this.
I'm sure that we discussed it at some point. My TLDR is I like Twilight Princess, but only if I could start playing it from like halfway through.
Yeah. If you could do it after you gotten past the first beast.
Yeah, if I could
segment.
just cut out all the damn bug hunting, I would have a much better time with that game.
But like it's kind of like that game where like I know it's very different. It's not like they just did a new fresh coat of paint, but like not enough is different on the Switch version that would make me make me want to play it over the Game Boy one. Because I have like a thing, I really like the Game Boy sound design and like visuals of it. I can still keep playing Pokemon Gold now, and I would almost rather play it than Heart Gold, even though Heart Gold is technically better. Because I like the aesthetics, I like the music. There's something about it that like it hits that nostalgia right where it needs to.
I felt the exact same thing.
like-
I felt the exact same thing between Gold and Heart Gold. Like I appreciated
Like,
Heart
it's not
Gold.
that Heart Gold's bad.
I appreciated it existing, but Gold, it's almost 100% nostalgia. Gotta be, but I don't know. There's
Like I can't. If someone came by and they're like, "Should I play Heart Gold or Gold?" I'd be like, "If you really like Pokemon, play Heart Gold. Like play Gold at some point, but just play Heart Gold if you have access to it because quality of life improvements. There's so many more Pokemon you can get. The Pokewalker I think is cool to have. I like the idea of that thing. I had so much fun with that. But like with Link's Awakening, it's just like I don't know. Like I played it. I'm like halfway through it and I just stopped. I don't even care to go back. Like, I have all the Zelda amiibos. I bought the Dreamers edition of Link's Awakening. I bought the collector's edition of it in Japan. It wasn't the Masters one of, like, Breath of the Wild. I like Zelda a lot. I have no intent of going back to Link's Awakening to finish it. And as someone who is currently, like, I full-time stream, I don't have any other job. I spent money on that, and I don't care to go back to it. That's how underwhelmed I am.
Hmm. I will preface for myself by saying that I frequently buy things that I end up never playing because Steam. But I do feel like there is a qualifier that if it's a Nintendo game, there is a high probability that I will play it and beat it at some point. Something about Nintendo games just makes them less wallet fodder, I guess.
If it's a first or second party Nintendo game and I look at it like 2 years after I bought it, I'm like, you know what, I'll finally go through that. Like, I just picked up Luigi's Mansion off my GameCube and been trying to finish that. There's something about the game and that I'm never gonna finish it. I've just come to accept that. But like, I'll finish Nintendo games that are first or second. But like, I have like Final Fantasy 10, 10-2, and 12 on Switch. I don't know when I'm going back to those. I looked at my Steam library. I don't know I'm gonna touch half of those games. I played 5 of them today on Steam just to get through them because they were short.
It's kind of interesting because I think we might have discussed this at some point, but my ratio of actually completing the things I own is quite abysmal. Like, I love Final Fantasy X. It's one of my top 10 favorite RPGs that I've ever played. I love it. I beat Mount Gagazet, and that's as far as I ever got. I never finished Final Fantasy X, even though I love it to death.
Have you finished it ever before?
I have not finished it ever before.
Ah.
That was as far as I ever got. Final Fantasy 12 was a similar thing where I was like, I kind of enjoyed that game. Then I got to a boss, got super, super aggravated at it, quit, never touched it again until I streamed it last year. Or 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? When did I meet you, Ken?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I fought Carrot. That was a crowning achievement.
No. Like, a year ago you fought Carrot. You kept saying you were starting like 2 years ago.
Yes, but the fact is, I was nowhere near Carrot when I was younger. If I hadn't streamed Final Fantasy 12, I don't know if I ever would have beaten Final Fantasy 12. And it's not...
Didn't the day you beat Carrot, like, most of us weren't there because it was like a weird off-stream time or something like that?
I think so. I
Yeah.
definitely remember.
Like, I think I missed it. You're like, we beat Carrot. I'm like, oh shit, I missed it.
I think Barry saw it. Barry was the true fan who was there. He saw Carrot die. He can attest to this. I have a witness.
Good job, Dad.
Yeah. Good job, Dad. I'm going to go back to university and bury myself under books.
Haha, Barry himself.
Eh.
You know you say his name wrong, right?
No. It's definitely Barry.
It's Barakin.
I'm not going
But
to
like
call
it has
him
the double
Barakin.
R,
I'm
so
not
like
calling him Barakin.
Oh, you call him Bari. I call him Barry because I don't know. He needs to go to bed. Barry, if you're listening to this, go to bed. I have a command. If you do exclamation point BARRI Barry in chat, it says Barry go to bed.
That's great.
And yeah, okay. So we already said no one's played Pokemon except for me.
I was actually going to mention, speaking of Pokemon, I find it amusing that we've somehow all played Pokemon and none of us are playing the same Pokemon game. Like, somehow.
I personally just finished Let's Go Eevee like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I sold it and rebought it so I could get the Melton box, and I finished it.
Boy.
Oh boy, did you?
That game sucks.
Did you also, boy, Ongaku?
No, I have Pikachu.
Why don't you just call him
Yeah,
Ken?
Pikachu.
Why do you keep calling him Ongaku? He's not. That's the name of his podcast.
I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I thought we're on a first name basis here, Kyo.
Are we?
Yes, because my last name is Cam, but the first name is Ongaku.
Okay. Well, Ken, have you?
Have I won?
You said you Pikachu. So what did you think? What did you think of Let's Go Pikachu? Being the only one who has that one.
It's all right.
Did you finish it?
No. I got to Erica and I was like, okay, I'm done.
That's where I stopped, I think, originally, and then I just went back because I wanted to get to the Go Park so I could transfer stuff in Pokemon Let's Go.
Yeah.
And then I got that Pokemon hype for the new one, and then I just finished it. Although, okay, that game has the weakest Elite Four ever.
Really?
Like, in Gold and Silver, you have the weak Elite Four when you finish the Johto side, then you beat the Kanto side and you come back and they're much harder. This one is just like, I steamrolled them under leveled. And then... now I need to somehow get to level 70 or something to fight Mewtwo, because you have to beat Mewtwo first, and then you can attempt to catch it. Even though you're just going to throw your Master Ball at it, you're just going to throw that ball. You have to, it's the same thing, you have to actually do that with Snorlax. Timber, I'm just going to ruin this for you. You have to fight the Snorlax and then catch them.
Oh.
Basically, it works. They work like raids. Ugh, what a sentence. They work like raids do in Pokemon Go, where you have to beat the Pokemon first, and then you can attempt to catch it.
Okay.
And there's a time limit.
All right. I'm still trying to figure out why I find Let's Go Eevee so incredibly difficult when everyone has complained about the ease of that game. Clearly, there is some learning curve to it, because I'm, like, severely underleveled post-Cerulean City unless I've, like, incidentally just not done the grinding I was supposed to do, which I think is probably what happened.
So sometimes the gym leaders are the only thing that are difficult in the game.
Yep.
And like I said before, just shake both Joy-Cons, have two characters out, and just go to town on them. Just double team them.
How can you double team in, like,
So,
a non-double team setting?
You just shake it in, and a support trainer comes out of nowhere to help you. And your next Pokemon in line is a double battle. It's 2v1.
You're not trolling me, are you? This sounds like a troll.
No, that's I did that
No. Yeah,
from Erica forward. I did that because I just wanted to get through the game faster.
Okay, I'll have to try that next time, because I was just sitting there like, man, this is taking a while, and also I'm grinding, and also all of these Pokemon trainers are really hard. Thanks, Misty, for ruining my confidence in my team. Also, Pikachu's stuck at level 18 for like 20 years. I'm like, Jesus, Pikachu, just level up, dude. You have Thunder Wave.
It doesn't help that, like, in the original games, the way that you would balance out, like, getting somewhere or, leveling up is you would fight, a wild Pokemon, but you have to sit there and keep catching wild Pokemon, which is boring.
Yeah, catch the Pokemon, and if you really want to get the experience, you're going to get streaks, so you have to catch the same Pokemon multiple times. It's not, you don't even get to see a different model making a different noise at you. Like, if it's not exactly the same exact thing over and over and over again, you're penalized almost for that.
The thing I don't understand with that is, like, if I fight an Oddish and then I fight a Gloom, that should still count towards the streak. It's the same line.
Look,
but it doesn't, because it's individual.
Listen, a spoiled blueberry is not the same.
The game, it just... Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee is way too cynical, and this is coming from me. It's too cynical of a cash grab, because I don't know who that game's for. If someone who liked Red and Blue and Yellow played it, they might be like, this is too easy and too much like Pokemon Go for me to enjoy. If someone who plays Pokemon Go plays it, trying to, like, get them over, they might say it's too complicated. Because, like, and also the controls for catching Pokemon suck. And then if it's someone who likes the main series and kept up with it, it's way too simple, because everything's been simplified down. So someone's going to not like it because it feels like a mobile game. The mobile game user is going to find it too complicated. And the veteran players are going to find it too simplified and, like, toned down. And that's where I am. I'm in that last group. So it's a game for no audience. And it's like, some people are like, it's for kids. Kids play more complicated games all the time.
Yeah.
Like, this watered-down version of Pokemon is not going to get them into Pokemon as much as you think it is.
Listen, children, I played Mist and Riven when I was, like, 6 years old. And those...
I know kids have, like...
Those are, like, not even interpretable by children. Like, some of the concepts are way too high level.
And those were things you had, like, get a guide or, like, talk to someone who also figured it out to figure out what to do in those games. That was not something...
Can you do base factor in a what was it? Base 6 numbering system, please? No, base 12. It was base 12.
And Mist is one of those things, too, where you're, like, carrying around this, like, cup. And you're like, what do I do with this cup? You're like, oh, you attach it to the crank, so it's a handle, and then you can turn the crank. Like, I would have never thought to do that. I would have never thought to do that. Oh, I watched someone play a LucasArts Indiana Jones game. They had, I think, a chicken carcass, and then, like, I don't know, some other kind of meat, something that. They just had to know that they had to put, like, the carcass and meat together to get the scorpions to leave them alone and attract them somewhere else. They just had to know that worked.
Oh,
it was the most obtuse ass thing I've ever seen. Like, how are you supposed to know?
It would keep children busy for hours. It was probably the perfect marketing game. It would be, hey, parents, do you have an annoying child and you want to shut them up? Give them a LucasArts game. They're never going to find the answer, and you'll have peace and quiet until they start asking you, like, what's the logical flow for this puzzle? Please, Dad, I'm begging you.
Anyway, like Pokemon. So are you gonna get Sword or Shield when you get it, Timber?
Shield. I've had a lot of people tell me
Shit, you get to
Sword
get Shield.
is what they have, so I should get Shield.
I will give you a egg.
Egg.
A egg. You will have a egg, and you will name it Farhecht, and then when it evolves, you will name it Sirhecht.
Ooh. Does it have a third evolution so I can like call it Sir Hector?
No. So I have named my Surfect, and I'm really enjoying that. And it's stupid.
Surfect and Sir Hecht together at last. We'll have to have an epic duel between them at some point.
I'll win, but yeah, we will.
Oh yeah.
And Ken, you haven't started yet, but did you get Sword or Shield?
I got both. I got the 2-pack.
Play Shield,
Okay.
and I will give you a egg,
I'll play Shield.
and I want a Corsola.
Alchemy Fox is also getting Sword, so I have a lot.
Okay.
I have a lot of egg donors. I think I'll be the universal, like, recipient.
Do you guys have your own Switches now, or is she still using yours?
She got her own Switch as of a week ago. She surprised me by being like, "Hey, so how do you feel about the Switch Lite?" And I was like, "The Switch Lite? That sounds. I mean, I guess if you don't already have a Switch, maybe you'll like it." And she's like, "Well, I have one." I was like, "Oh, okay. This wasn't. You weren't asking for my opinion. Got it."
She doesn't live up near you yet, does she?
No, she'll be moving up probably in like 5 months or so once the winter ends.
Okay, gotcha. I didn't know if she had moved back or not.
And what part of the hand?
The
thumb meat part.
The wrist. Yeah. Actually, you kind of have a good kind of the meaty thumb part, meaty thumb wrist.
I hate your state. I hate your state and everyone in it.
Hey, do you remember? Do you remember the state motto?
For
pure
Michigan?
Pure Michigan.
Why?
Because it's all. Listen, almost all of the entire planet's like fresh water exists in our lakes. We have a monopoly on water. Okay.
Michigan sucks.
Well, I'm just gonna shut off the water to Missouri. Then that's it. That's final.
Do it. Do it now. Do it right now. No, I'm calling you out. Do it.
Okay. You'll. The drought's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Does anyone else have anything new, or should we move on to questions? We're about an hour and
Do we
hour
have
10
questions?
In, hour 15. Yeah, we do actually.
Oh wow!
So,
I'm very surprised.
Those of you who are new to this, who just randomly found this, that are not part of my channel or Discord at all, if you go into my Discord, you're able to ask me questions at any time. And I have just decided to tell people if they post real questions that I will read them and that we can answer them. So let me go to, it goes under my Discord under the Ask Kyo Stuff section.
Are we pulling back
Let's
an
click in
entire
here.
year of questions here?
No. So some of these are not specific yet because some were just asked today, like around noon. No, one was at midnight today. I don't know why it was posted that. It was at midnight 32. I'm just going to answer it so I can tell them I answered in here. From Black Shotgun, are you going to play Coma 2 when it's a thing? Yes, I wanted to play it the other day, and it's episodic. Or it's episodic kind of, like it's early access, and it's going to be finished by January. So there's 3 chapters out now, 3 coming out at the end of the month, and 3 in the middle of December. And I haven't finished the first game again yet, so I might just wait for them to finish it because I feel like that's a game I want in a full finished product than to review as it goes on, because I'm not going to do 3 here, the ending, and then play through it again to see what they polish after. So I'll probably do it when it's over, or once they're like, this is what it's going to be, we're just going to add stuff to it now. So that's the answer on that. Let's see. Other ones. This is for everyone. This is from my moderator, Chioriku, also known by many different mispronunciations. The question is, what color toad are you?
Furfrel.
Purple.
Yellow.
Furfrel, yes.
Yellow. Farfel?
Furfel.
That's what I was saying. I was like, what is a farfel?
Furfel.
Purple.
All right. Well, that's simple.
Yeah,
So there you go.
Yeah. Yellow because of my shiny disposition.
Purple because I love purple. And if you saw my costume that I went for Luna's wedding, that lovely thing, you would know why.
He wore what looked like a gimp mask that was purple, a wig that was purple, and then a tutu that was purple because the spandex pants he was wearing did not leave anything to the imagination.
No, it did not.
God. And I picked purple because I like purple.
Yeah.
If you look at my logo, it's purple, pink, and blue because dinosaurs.
I mean, if I was going for favorite colors, it'd probably be like blue or purple. But I don't know. The yellow toad just seems right. It's like a correct.
Also,
toad.
listen to Timber picking an established toad. Not even anything unique. He's just like, I'm one of the 3 toads they still keep using.
Yeah.
One of the three toads from Luigi's Mansion.
One of the 3 primary colors, baby.
Oh yeah, there were 3 toads in Luigi's Mansion because there's 5. Yeah, which I didn't even chance to talk about that. Luigi's Mansion 3 is fucking awesome. That is probably my game of the year. Probably. Trying to think. Once I play other games to remember what came out this year, because obviously Resident Evil 2 Remake has been shot out the door. We're not talking about that
I thought
today.
you enjoyed Resident Evil 2
We're
Remake.
not talking. I know. I hate that game.
What?
It sucks.
I saw you play it. You were having fun.
I did.
You like
and then the more you play it, the more you realize nothing's different about it. There are 4 campaigns in it, and they're all the same. They just... Okay, so Leon 1 and Claire 1, the first runs, they're the same thing with slight differences, but more or less you're going through the game the same way. And then they give them both second runs, where you just start at a different point, and then you basically do the same thing again in the same order with slight changes, but they both fight the same bosses in the same order.
Yeah, but I mean,
and then the second runs just have one extra boss.
You're not meant to play both, though, right? I mean, there's no compelling
You
reason
are.
to...
In at least in the classic one, I'm without trying to get too much comparisons in it, you would play Claire A, Leon B, Leon A, Claire B, and their stories would they would fight different bosses, they had different interactions, they would overlap, and one of those playthroughs is considered the canon one, with stuff from the other ones being filtered in as this also happened. The remake doesn't have any of it, and then I 100% blame Twitch for just running that game into the ground because everyone's tired of all the other Resident Evil games at this point.
What about Mr. X gonna give it to you?
Well, once you realize that he's not really a threat and he's more of an annoyance, you get tired of him because you're just like, okay, he's out there. Let me just stand here in the doorway that he can see me in, but can't actually touch me until he walks away. I don't know. I need to not do this every single day. This is every single day I complain about this game. All right. Next question from Black Shotgun. What game do you regret buying? Resident Evil 2 Remake and Legend of Zelda Awakening for Link's Awakening for Switch. Because that game just... I don't know. I'm never going to finish it. It's a waste of money.
This year? Dynasty Warriors 9.
I'm just going to say this year just to make it simple.
Dynasty Warriors 9.
Because I have a stack of games from the past few decades.
I actually didn't
to
very selective with my purchases this year. What the heck did I buy that I regretted? I generally don't play a thing I don't like, so if I play it for 5 minutes and I'm like, nope, then I generally don't even remember that it happened.
If it's on Steam, you probably refund it anyway too, don't you?
Probably.
If you even would do that.
If I'd even refund,
if you even buy something on Steam to the point that it's so expensive that you would just refund it.
There was a game I
if you didn't
bought
like it.
a while ago. I guess it's not technically this year, but it was called Deep in the Dungeon or something. It was during a period where I was just really into achievement hunting, and I picked this up because it apparently had easy achievements. Played a fraction of it, and it was so monumentally bad. It was a callback to a 90s DOS game, right? And maybe I just wouldn't have liked that DOS game, and that was the problem, is that I just didn't have the nostalgia there. But when I played, I was just like, oh my god, people paid money for this, and I paid money for this. I didn't pay money for this. I'm reneging this. I actually refunded that one. But other than that, I think this year I wanted to buy 3 Houses. I still haven't bought 3 Houses. I bought Spyro, and that was a good call. I actually really enjoy Spyro. It's one of the few games I'm playing off-stream. Let's Go Eevee I bought this year, and that would have been my answer, because I didn't play it until a week ago. But in playing it, like, it's not bad enough for me to say that I regretted buying it. I still...
Like, the game sucks, but if you're really desperate for new Pokemon game to play, it's serviceable if you just want to, like, run through something.
Right. So, I don't know. I have no regrets.
If it was during the 8 months that we didn't do anything, They're Alive 6.
Yep. I've heard that's been pretty scummy, because isn't it just 5 with, like... It's just 5?
Yeah, it's just 5. The updated system and everything, it looks good. It is actually really good. It's a really refined game, but the fact that there is a free-to-play version, which is basically we're going to switch out the characters every couple weeks to a month, is kind of bad. And then, of course, it's...
The DLC.
Yeah, the DLC. The costume DLC is pretty, really, really bad. But I do like fighting games. I love They're Alive. It's probably one of my guilty pleasure for a fighting game there. But yeah, 6 was... I don't regret it for the gameplay. I regret it for everything the game stands for after that.
Okay, I'm actually... So I pulled up my purchase history on Steam so that I can recall which of these things I actually regret purchasing. So looking at it, for the year of 2019, I bought a lot of crap. I bought something. Okay, I bought something, and I feel bad because this is made by like a super like nothing indie developer. But there was this game called Clarence Saga Tactics, and this is a PC like this is what you get when you've never played or have always played Fire Emblem games but do not have a system to play it on. So you're like, I can't play Fire Emblem on PC. What do I do? Clarence Saga Tactics. It's literally Fire Emblem made by somebody who really liked Fire Emblem, and it's made using a special kind of RPG maker that is designed specifically for making tactical RPGs. So this is off to a really good start in terms of like how functional the design would be. It had branching paths, it had a fairly generic story, and there was like definitely a moment where I killed a character and the big reveal was that they were pregnant with my child, and I was like, oh no, and now I'm the Dark Lord, or something to that effect. I don't know, it was a ride. Maybe I regret purchasing that one, but then again it was 99 cents, so can you really regret 99 cents?
Sometimes, but I mean, as long as you didn't make you sick and you have to go get like antibiotics for it.
Yeah, I was okay. I came out of it mostly intact. I bought Company of Heroes 2. That might have been a mistake. I bought that yesterday.
Yeah, it might be. Let me know how that turns out. But I think that's a good for the regrets on there. We have a few more questions to get through. Peter and Bari both have questions that were pertaining to Pokemon Sword and Shield. I will wait until the next one to answer these because it's our thoughts about it and then our favorite Gen 8 Pokemon. So I feel like I'd rather us all talk about that next time.
For sure.
Because I can give mine, but like that's boring. Because like I can tell you it's Surfetch, but it might change after I finish the game because I haven't encountered all the Pokemon yet.
Right. Surfetch is really
it's
good.
Monkey
Like,
right now, so...
Instinct. I want the rabbit. I forgot the name of it, but...
Score Bunny.
Score Bunny.
Okay. I just want to answer this last couple questions.
No, Yo, we have to have a discussion here.
Another one from one of my other moderators, Alabama Tofu, who currently has a very profane name in my Discord. Tomato or vinegar-based barbecue sauce?
Vinegar.
I want to say tomato because like I don't really like vinegar, but if it's gonna be authentic barbecue sauce, it's gonna have vinegar base.
Tomato. I wouldn't know what is authentic barbecue sauce.
Barbecue sauce needs to have vinegar in it to give it that zing. Is that the right thing for it? It's got like vinegar is usually like the stronger of them. I just would prefer tomato, but even then, that just makes it ketchup.
That was another thing that I forgot to have done when I came to visit you guys was to have barbecue. Because I don't.
Yeah, I have to come back.
We don't. Well, we have barbecue, but the style of barbecue is just like
You like the Asian style barbecues?
Yeah, it's like Asian style barbecue. It's not like we're gonna have like a good old barbecue sauce fest and stuff like that.
I'll send you some Sweet Baby Ray's.
Oh, I did pick up some sauce, but nothing out of the ordinary.
It's vinegar or root beer for me. 2 winners.
Root beer? There's a root beer sauce?
You've never had?
There's a Dr. Pepper based one too.
Dr. Pepper, root
There's
beer.
Dr. Pepper,
Coke.
Sprite, and root beer. They're actually not bad from what I've heard. I heard the Dr. Pepper one's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I've actually made one before. Like it tastes like a sweet barbecue sauce. That's how you make it sweet. I don't know why they went with soda and not just literally adding sugar to the base, but you know.
Because like if it's just sugar, you can tell when it's like too sweetened with just sugar or something. But like I guess the soda has all the other flavors with it. So it's like adding like a Bud Light to like cooking something. Like Bud Light tastes like ass, but like you get the beer flavor from it.
Extracts.
I mean, Bud Light sucks.
It's a bad beer.
It's piss water.
No, that's a different beer.
That's PBR. Although honestly, if you just want to get drunk and you want to be cheap, go buy like a 24 case of like bottles or even cans of PBR for like $5 and just get like shitty drunk on that.
I think Corona's as basic as I get with the beers that I'm willing to consume wide.
It is kind of like that basic one where you can be like, I don't want to drink Bud Light, but I don't want to get anything too heavy and good. And Corona still has like a little bit of class to it, I guess, compared to the other shitty beers.
I can put the lime in it, and yeah, I can sit there wearing my like white suit and tie and be like, yes, pass me the Corona.
All right, do we have any other questions here? We have about 3 left, but I don't know how far. I think we've kind of answered some of these. The next one is, what am I going to propose to girlfriend? Heck you. I'm not answering that. Mom. But that was by Alabama Tofu. He also asked, what do you think of the blind meme hate for experimental projects like Death Stranding? What makes one fresh game like that different from another experimental game, which is objectively bad like Deadly Premonition, which has a cult following? He's like, I'm thinking more of the bandwagoning meme hate towards it. That seems to be coming from who made it more than... Oh, like, so people like...
Yeah, they probably are attacking more so the creator than the project itself sometimes.
Like, I don't have a problem with its existence.
Yeah.
It's not for me. One of the big things for me is I don't like seeing the faces of famous big celebrities in video games. I don't like it. Do I think they can't be voice actors or something? No. But I don't like them being the models of it. And Death Stranding, for me, it shows like... It's the most egregious use of, look at my famous friends, the video game.
I personally don't.
Like,
I don't think it was as egregious as in Call of Duty when they just straight up had Kevin Spacey as like the villain.
See, that I find really weird too. I didn't like that, but like I could kind of get it because like he's basically playing his House of Cards character. I'm like, I don't like it, but then again, I really don't look at Call of Duty for anything narratively interesting or anything like that. So when it comes to a game that's supposed to be narratively like the heavy narrative. And like come from someone like Kojima, I kind of expect a little bit more out of it. And he seems to be mostly hoping the game's going to carry on 1, his name, and 2, the names of all of his friends, the names and faces of all his friends.
I think I definitely agree, and I also think this is a product of just internet culture in general. Is that everything is so algorithm based. The decisions that are made by creative people in general is based on, will someone search this? That's something that people feel the need to resort to. But I definitely agree. Like it is stripping a bit of the creativity out of the development when it's like, hey, what do we design our character to look like? God, just make it look like that person right there. Instead of like, I mean, we would not have had, I guess to an extent we would have still had Snake because that was just based off of, what was the title of that movie?
Escape from LA
or New York. I think they're both technically.
Escape from New York.
So technically it was just based off that, and he was just trying to recreate the character in a game.
But like it wasn't like this is like in this one it's like this is Norman Reedus, but he's actually called Sam. I'm like, but it's Norman Reedus.
Right.
It's Darl.
You know what's really weird is, so in the safe houses you can go use the restroom, and the restroom has ads that play to the glass of the player while Sam is taking the dukes or whatever. And one of the ads is for the current AMC Writing Dead show that Norman Reedus hosts, and it's just like, so does Walking Dead exist in this world? Does people consider Sam looking like Norman Reedus? Is Norman Reedus in this world? There's a lot of questions that was just like, okay, kind of thing.
I feel like that goes past Easter egg, how you can find like certain things from other Sony properties in the game. That's an Easter egg, but that just seems like this is just like blatant product placement.
Yeah, I mean, to be perfectly honest, I don't usually keep up with actor names, so when we were saying Norman Reedus and I saw the actor, in my mind, I didn't like piece it together. When you said Walking Dead, I went, oh my god, he was in that, and I know what character, and now it's ruined for me forever. Now I see it.
For me, like, I have problems with voice actors being reused because, so a while back there was that whole thing with performance matters. Like, it matters who does the voices, who is which character, like, their performance matters and should be, like, you know, acknowledged for that. And for me, like, it does matter for me. Like, I want the voice actors to be consistent. I want them to have people who are good, you know, like, I want them to be credited. But for me, I can't, like, break away certain voice actors from certain characters. And, like, if I keep hearing Troy Baker as playing every single character, after a while, just based on how he is, because he's a dick, he's just playing Troy Baker. He's just Troy Baker with a new skin. And I can't stand that. And then, like, instead of getting new voice actors, now they're just pulling in actual actors into video games. And, like, as a medium, like, that whole thing is just, like, regressing. Because it went from, we had, you know, famous people, like, they'd pulled movie actors in to do voices before. They're like, okay, now we have voice actors, now it's going back to Hollywood shit. And it's just ruining things for me personally.
Unfortunately, I don't know. I don't have a solution. I know the problem. And I hate saying the internet, but it's the internet. Like, the more...
Oh, it's the internet.
The more algorithmically bound we are, the more things that are popular need to exist for other things to be popular. That is why we are stuck in sequel cycles. That is why we are stuck in high-profile actors getting literally everything. Like, it all stems from, is it searchable? Which is sad. It makes me sad. I want new IPs. I want new things. And unfortunately, as much as I love the indie scene, they don't have much in the way of budget to do some of the things. There's
really not much difference, like, with the indies and, like, current AAAs anyway. Like, how many indie developers are actually still an indie developer? Like, can you still sit there and say Yacht Club is this small indie developer that, you know, they're relatively unknown and don't know anything? No, they're fucking characters in every single game that comes out now.
I mean,
indie now just doesn't seem to have any meaning anymore.
As a category, no. But as a title you can assign to people that are actually indie, it makes sense. It's just, if you're, like, combing through Steam and being like, hey, this is a famous quote-unquote indie studio, it started indie, then it grew. That's the hope with every indie company, is that it grows and becomes something more like B category, right? It's not AAA, it's like a B tier. It's like, it's got a smaller team with a smaller budget, but it's still, like, higher than just straight indie.
Like, I wouldn't even consider Toby Fox... I'd say he's an independent creator, but I wouldn't say he's indie anymore. He's way too successful to still be considered indie, I think. I mean, he has a character in Song and Smash Brothers, and he has a song that he made for Pokemon Sword and Shield, and he has music for another Game Freak game this year.
I think I would still assign him indie. Indie literally means being an independent developer. If he's working more or less on his own.
It doesn't though. Like, indie music doesn't mean anymore that it's an independent label or independent band. Like, now it's just a style.
Yep, I can attribute to that all too well.
Indie just means a style at this point. It doesn't mean it doesn't actually mean you're independent. I'd rather say this is an independent developer than they are an indie developer.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather assign it with, this is an unknown blank, right? Like, for me, Hollow Knight is an amazing game that somehow got made by Team Cherry, who, as far as I'm aware, made literally nothing else but Hollow Knight.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, to come out of nowhere with that is quite a feat. And that's what makes it impressive. That's what makes it meaningful, is you came with a bang. You came out of nowhere, I didn't know who you were, and you impressed me enough that it didn't matter that I didn't know who you were.
I just realized I don't think we answered his question at all.
We just went on about how...
We'll come back to that one next week. I will flag that with a different
priority question. What was the question?
It was something about Death Stranding. Like we'll go back to it next time after I can go. I'll flag them with a different reaction. Currently, they have just my can't wake up or wake me up, and I'll put the can't wake up on them if they have been answered, and I'll leave them without the wake me up. No, it'll say wake me up if they haven't been done yet. It will say can't wake up if they have been done. I have several different shook emotes, and there are two that are the same. One's just black and white. One has black and white with crazy eyes.
So there's your teaser on your answer for next episode.
Oh, God.
They'll just tell you how it'll go going forward. So, well, they won't know that till after they finish this episode. This is at the end.
Yeah.
Timber. Okay, we have one more question I'll answer before we finish. This is from my personal friend and channel artist, Mako. And feel free anyone to answer this. How come I can hear screams when I sleep at night?
Okay, so am I the eye here, or are they like?
No, she is the eye.
The eye.
Well, that about wraps it up for Podasaurus. Thank you so much for listening to this season 2, episode 1. If I can somehow find all the old episodes, I'll try and upload them.
I have one
periodically. You have the Ongaku to you one, right?
Yeah, I have the Ongaku to you one.
I think I have them on my old computer, or they are on a USB somewhere. I'll look for them. They might exist. If they do, I'll put them up. If not, this was the first episode of season 2. Just consider this the revival and like the... Okay, so this is like the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood to Full Metal Alchemist. This is the correct version. This one follows the manga. So, if you've already read it before, you'll know what to go up, how to keep up. But we're going to try and do these every 2 weeks, twice a month, I think is what we settled on, right?
Yeah.
We might do like a deep dive episode here and there. I think after we go through Pokemon, all of us, I think it'd be cool to have a Pokemon themed episode to like just, give our thoughts on it. Cause like I'll probably be done with it like at the end of the weekend. You guys like more so over time. We can do this, beginning of the year or something. We'll figure it out.
This doesn't count as the Pokemon episode, right?
This does not count as the Pokemon episode because you guys haven't played it yet.
Boy.
Boy.
Yeah. This is the Let's Go episode.
Sounds good.
But thank you again so much for hanging out, so much for listening, and TimberTaft.
Yes.
Where can people find your shit?
Oh my gosh, we are now an adult content stream.
I said the F word so many times already.
I also said the D word. So we're off to
you
a
say
start.
what was the D word?
What is the D word? Kyo, tell me.
Dicks.
So we have.
Where can people find you, TimberTaft?
Yes, if you want to watch me and my antics, you can see me on the TimberTaft Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TimberTaft, where I stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you would like to see me do things that are not literally just playing a game, you can watch me on YouTube, youtube.com/TimberTaft, where I make top 10s, song covers, and a bunch of other stuff. Right now, the big things are, of course, if you were really interested in Koroks, I made a video where I talk about how evil those Koroks are, so you should probably check that one out. And I'm also doing a brand new series, new concept. I don't think I've ever seen anybody really do something like it before, called Bloodstained Abridged. So if you want to see more things about Bloodstained, I would highly recommend you giving that a chance. And yeah. What about Ken?
So, yes, I am a host of a Japanese music industry podcast called Ongaku to You. You can look that up and all the lovely things on Twitter and Instagram and SoundCloud, where all the podcast services are held. If you want to know about the lovely new things in the Japanese music industry, you can look up there. You can find me on Twitter at OTYKen1, where I just talk about Bang Dream and Seiyus and Final Fantasy XIV and occasionally other antics. And where can we find you, Kyo?
Well, my name is Lou, but I go by KyoryuHunter on everything, spelled the same way as this here channel and such. You can find me every weekday, Monday through Friday, that is, starting at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time on twitch.tv/KyoryuHunter. I play a variety of games, such as horror games and retro games. I've expanded past that. Don't worry, there's not as much Resident Evil and Silent Hill as there used to be because I'm kind of burned out on them. But I'm trying to bring the freshest content to you every morning while I am half asleep. So please feel free to check me out over there. And also youtube.com/KyoryuHunter, which we finally got that. Custom URL. It's so nice.
Yay,
so nice.
You're welcome.
Or this podcast that you're listening to might be on there, or it might be on my Twitch page. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. And I also have put inconsistent content on there. Usually I will try and find anything that was interesting from my channel that was a new blind play and put it up. I recommend watching my Song of Horror playthrough. That was a very surprisingly good Eldritch adventure style horror game that was split up into 2 episodes so far. There's 3 more on the way. I thought it was fantastic. I even recommend Timber you try that as well. I think you would like it.
I'm sorry, what was it?
And aside, it's called Song of Horror.
Recommended by Cal.
If not, just go watch my first episode and see if you like it. And if you like it, then stop watching it and go play the game. But aside from that, you can find me on twitter.com/KokusaiKyoryu. I will spell it for you in the links below, and that's where I just ramble and complain about Pokemon right now, and wondering why they did certain things. But then also I talk about, I don't know, I put random polls on there, here and there. I don't know. I don't even know what I do anymore.
So many polls.
What is life? What are things? Since the geese left, I just don't know what to do anymore.
We didn't even somehow talk about Goose Game all stream.
We can talk about that next time, so Ken can play it.
This isn't a stream, but whatever.
Shut up. I'm whatever. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys next week or next time. Whatever. I'll see you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Aloha.